Hello and welcome to what's going to be a not very, very long, but a long video today. I hope you got your popcorn ready. Because we're going to go through every Aston Villa signing since returning to the Premier League in 1920. We've had some interesting signings, and we're going to review how good each one is. Amazing, good, bad, horrendous. Now, there are some signings that probably the jury's still out, and we don't know how good they've been over this year. But I'm going to try and force myself to rate everyone, even if maybe it's hard to tell with some because they've not played much for Villa. There are going to be some that are much more obvious, like the first one being Wesley. This is our biggest signing. If I'm looking down, I've got notes just so I don't forget anything. But the first signing, Big Wes, I used to call him, cost us 25 million. I think pretty big half a season, never really that prolific. Then got a long-term injury, and that was pretty much in the half through the first season, and that was the end of his career. So we paid 25 million for him. He's got 6 goals in 26 games. I think we'll go bad. It's not horrendous. It might be horrendous. I'll probably review all this at the end, but for now, it's fine. Next up, Mingzi. 22 million is came in. We loaned him in the championship and then made the signing permanent for Bournemouth. For me, he's still at the club now, so that's since 19, and from last 19, 20, 7 years. It's got to be a good sign just for the fact we've loaned him for 7 years. He's just a solid player. Next up, Douglas Luiz. Now, for me, Douglas Luiz has been one of our best signings. Brought him for 16.8 million and we sold him 51.5 million 5, 6 years later. So in terms of business, it's an amazing sign and what a player he was. Just taking over games, controlling them. Next up, Matt Target. Now I'm a bit undecided about this one. Cost us 15.5 million, made 89 appearances, was good in that first season where we newly promoted. He was just kind of quietly good, and we had him for a couple more years, and then sold him to Newcastle for 17.5 million. They made a profit, so I think I'm stuck between meh and good because we did get our money back on him. He just didn't play a lot, but I think for now, meh. I think we'll go good for now. I might be able to move it back down to meh. Next up, Mr. Esri Concert. Amazing signing. Cost us 13.3 million from Brentford and got 295 appearances from him. He's so good. He's made 2 goals in England squad for the summer. Just been well, as you can see, the category an amazing signing. Next up, we got one that's the opposite end of the spectrum. Marvelous Nakamba in the bad. I mean, we paid 12 million for him, got 78 games, and we sold him. He's now playing for Luton in League One, so that shows the level that he was. He was just a pretty limited player. I think when we signed him, he was going to be a defense midfielder, just sits him at the back four, but not good enough. Nowhere near good enough. Maybe if we went down in the championship, might have been better at that time, but no, just a bad signing. Next up, Trezeguet. Now, interesting one because as much as in terms of numbers, 10 games, got him for 10 million, 64 games, 9 goals, 5 assists, and he is at the World Cup with Egypt. He just he did score. The only thing about Trezeguet is he did like a late goal, an important late goal in our first season when he was at EFL Cup semi-final. He scored the win against Leicester. He also scored a goal against Crystal Palace. It was really important, so I think it's meh. Because he is still an international player, he's one of the best at Villa. He might have to get 9 goals and 64 goals. We sold him for 4 million. I think it's bad. Yeah. We're going there for now. We'll see what he comes back with. Next up, Amor Girls. This guy brought for 9 million from the after learning in the championship. 190 appearances. We played quite a few games. 26 goals, 16 assists. I liked El Ghazi. He was nothing special, but he was an entertaining player. He never knew what was. He was very flair driven, could dribble with the ball. So I think we bought it for 9 million. We got 2.5 back for him. I think from a financial standpoint, it's a bad signing. Next up, Tom Heaton, and this could be. We brought him for 8.5 million from Burnley. The idea was he was going to be a short fix that first season, just a solid pair of hands. And he had one of the worst save percentages in the league for any starting goalkeeper. And he only played till January, so he's got to be a bad signing. bordering on horrendous. Next up, Bjorn Engels. Now, I think this has to go in horrendous. Brought in for 8 million, sold him 3.5. He played 19 games in 2 years. That could just go bad. Yeah, you've been too harsh on him. 8 million pound. He played 19 games in 2 years, sold him 3.5 million. Nothing. I can't remember much about him to be honest. Probably says it all. Next one, Courtney Hawes. Again, another bad sign. I mean, a lot of bad signs for our first transfer in the back in the Prem, but we paid 3.4 million for him, 55 games, and he's still a free. When Villa was his last club when he got released, no one's picked him up since. He's now a rapper. So if you want to listen to his songs, feel free. I don't think they're very good, but the only reason why it's not a horrendous sign is he didn't cost as much money. It was only 3.4 million, which is probably why a lot of these signings in the bad are in the horrendous. Now I think about it, Wesley might have to go in horrendous. And I just remember one of the most interesting things about Wesley was in his first preseason, he got sent off in a friendly against Stoke for trying to headbutt the opponent, which kind of summed up his kind of Villa career. It just never really happened for him. So I think he has to go down to horrendous. Next up, this is I got one more before actually. Jota, we brought on a free from Birmingham. Well, say brought. We didn't. How do you buy someone on a free? We spent 4.5 million on him from Birmingham. Uh, Played 10 games, started 4 of them. That was a bad signing. The only reason again why he's not in horrendous 4.5 million is not a lot of money for Villa at that time. I think it's only a bad signing. So that is the end of the first transfer window, the summer one, and then in January we added Samata. Samata was our Wesley was interested. We didn't have any strikers. We added Samata. It was again bad signing. 16 games, 2 goals. Enough said. Next up, Reina. Now, again, Tom Heaton was injured, so we had to have a backup goalkeeper, or starting goalkeeper, because we didn't have any good ones at the club. But Reina was not good. He had the second worst save percentage for any starting goalkeeper. Was clearly past it, but it was a body. And the next one, Borja Bast. He played, I think, this is all about Baston, is he plays 25 minutes in his whole Villa career. I know he cost us nothing, but his wages, like, what was the point? The point was we needed a virtual striking at final deadline day in case Samata got injured. That would have really been it, but 25 minutes, Bass. Was he a mare? I think Baston might have to go mare, but he played 25 minutes. Then what did he do wrong? He didn't do anything, he didn't get picked. He didn't lose money on, I think it's mare, actually, now I think about it. Like, Reina played him was awful. Baston didn't play him. I can't remember someone that didn't play. Uh, He's not a better signing than El Ghazi, is he? So I think if I put Bast on there, El Ghazi's got to go up. So yeah, El Ghazi and Matt Bash has to go in there. He was a depth signing. He was only really there if Samata got injured, so it's fine. And then the next one, Danny Drinkwater, came in on loan. Got to say, got caught headbutted Jota in training. We probably made him want to leave even sooner than he could. So it, just a horrendous signing. When he plays 4 games, high wages, and souls and beaver in a train is not a good thing to do. Now, in the summer of 2020, we had just stayed up in the Premier League, so I think at the end of the next window was kind of add some better play. Not like we had to rebuild the squad in our first season in the Premiership, so now this was more like adding some better quality players in for a little bit higher fees. For the first one, I think we all know Ollie Watkins has to be an amazing signing. Since he signed for Villa, he's led every season, 15 more goals in the Prem. He's our sixth full time. Let me just check my notes. Watkins is our sixth highest scorer in a Villa shirt of all time. Just a kind of amazing signing. And the next up, we have Mr. Bertrand Traore. Now, played for only 52 games in 4 years. We brought him for 20 million, or 18.4. It's quite a decent whack of money. So I think he has to go in horrendous. Just didn't play enough games, didn't look good on the ball. This was next up we've got Emmy. Amazing signing. I mean, he's won two Golden Gloves. That's all I need to say. I think we all know about Emmy Martinez. In my opinion, the best goalkeeper in the league and in the world. So we got him forward. Let me just check on the figures. 17.4 million for best goalie in the world is amazing business. Uh, Next up, Matty Cash. My sister would put him in amazing because she absolutely loves Matty Cash, but 15.8 million, if you missed your consistent, he's still at Villa now. He's a very good squad player, up and down that right hand side. I think he's a good signing all round. Now, this is interesting because I've got Barkley. Now, this Barkley I'm going to do is Barkley in his first loan spell at Villa. And there's another Barkley somewhere later down the line, which I'll judge differently because I feel like it's different because he's been at the club twice in two separate spells and he was a different player at each level. Whereas this Barkley is more of an attacking midfielder. The other one's more box, can be box to box with more. There's more variety in what role he could play. But I think this Barkley was a bad signing on loan. 24 games, 3 goals, 1 assist, and nothing signing. It's a good job it wasn't permanent. Well, in January we did add to the squad and we tried to make a better squad player, but it was a bad signing. Morgan Sanson, 23 appearances in 3.5 years at Villa. We brought him for 15.8 million, and we can't even know what happened to him. He got loaned out in the end and just left, so horrendous signing by Villa. Next up, Mr. Emi Buendia. Now, I'm torn about this one because we spent big money on him, 38.4 million from Norwich, and you can see he's a good player, but his numbers are not where it needs to be. Um, I'm playing next to Leon Bailey. Um, they've only, they've joined at the same time. Bailey's played one less game, has one more goal and 4 more assists, but I think Buendia's a much better player for Villa. Like you can see in how numbers would say Bailey's been better than Buendia, but it just hasn't happened for him in his shirt. So if I'm going to put Buendia in there because he's still being used today and he could get better and the jury's still out really. I think Bailey's been bad because we haven't. I'm still waiting for Bailey to break out, really kick on, and be this kind of exciting player that runs at people, but not really having lots to play. So it hasn't happened. I think it's going to be a bad signing as well. Even though he costs less than Buendia, I think Buendia's got a bigger future at the club and scored some more important goals, especially in that Europa League finals. So yeah, Bailey and bad. Buendia in there just for the high. He can't really high because of the high fee, and he's not got the numbers to back it up. Next up, Luke. Where are we now? Luca Dean. Luca Dean. Why haven't we don't want Luca Dean now. That's the wrong order. Luca Dean should not be there. Luca Dean's January, so we'll put Luca Dean there. So next up is Danny Ings. Now this is a this is oh just remember this is a summer where we sold Jack Grealish. So we were trying to reinvest, and Danny Ings was a horrendous signing. We bought him for 29.4 million. We only had him for a year and a half. We sold him to West Ham for 12 million. He he just got over a kick against Newcastle. I was at the stadium for, but never happened for him. It was never really good enough to be better than Watkins, and that's what it is. Next up, this is sentimental and a nice signing I enjoy. Ashley Young. I think it's a nah. We signed him on a free. He was a squad player. Played 60 games, was in the second spell, and yeah, just quietly a good squad player to have. No, didn't really set the world alight. Was just solid. So meh signing for a free. No, Axel Tuanzebe, this one. This was under Gerrard actually. We loaned him in for literally for a season. We only got halfway the season. He went out to Napoli. Um, well, he did play 11 times for us, but just a nothing signing really. So probably a bad one because we didn't complete the loan. And to be fair to me, he didn't put us wrong. Maybe he's in there. 'Cause we didn't. Not really asked. Man United recalled him. We didn't send him back. Squad player, I think it's in there actually. I'm being a bit harsh on him. Didn't cost us anything. And then Gerrard's there. Yeah, this is still under Gerrard. This is January signings now for Gerrard. Callum Chambers. Nah, squad player. 36. He played 36 times in 3 years. He was never signed to be a starter. I think he's a squad player. He was there 3 years. Although when we sold him, he did. I say sold him, we let him go on a free. The Cardiff, um, just a fine squad player. Didn't put a foot wrong. It's not really much to say about him, to be honest. This next one, Luca Dean. Now, I think this has been a good signing for us because he's still playing for Villa now. In my opinion, he's one of the best fullbacks in the league last season. Um, I think he had the most assists for any defender in the Premiership. So he's got to be, in terms of his creative stuff, he's good, and he's still starting over the £40 million Matson that we brought in. And probably one of the few good things to come out of the Gerrard era was Luca Dean, even if we did have to pay 30 million for Everton. But he's such a good player. If you watch him play, it's such a complete fullback. The next two signings, when we first brought them in, they were both on loan. And we bought them permanently, but I'm going to treat them as they bought, well, how they did that the whole time ever. We paid how much money we paid for them. So the first one, Steven Gerrard, really good signing. Coutinho, it was an awful signing. Paid £20 million. He was there for 3.5 years. We had to basically, he was on such high wage, we couldn't even sell him to resell him on. Had to wait for his contract to expire. It was like 4.5 years, and just when Gerrard got flat, and we didn't fancy him, so we let him go. It was a horrendous sign for everyone involved. Robin Olsen. Now, for me, Robin Olsen was signed as a backup keeper, 3.5 million. Now, some people didn't really rate Olsen. I thought he was a fine backup. Never really. Yeah, he's never going to start over Emi Martinez, but as a squad option, I think he was fine at the time. Nothing special, just a mere signing, I think. The next that we got into, what are we now? The summer of 2022. Gerrard is at the helm. And I think we were looking to take that next step from mid-table Premier League club to European football. And we tried doing this by signing a big sort of fee signing was Diego Carlos, who cost us 31 million, and he only paid 58 times for Villa in 3 years, and we sold him for 11.5 million, so we lost 20 million on him. He was fine, he was nothing special, but for the money we paid, we should have got better value for him. Next up, then Donker, I think again, bad signing. Um, Cost us 15 million. Didn't really. Well, played 36 times in 2 years and left on a free pretty soon after he came in. Never really looked that special. The only reason why he's not in horrendous is because he was under 20 million, really. Uh, a lot of these signings have been pretty bad this summer, and then this is followed by Augustus. I'm going to put in mad controversy. Now, I only played 4 times. Am I going to put him in there, really? He played 4 times for us. He didn't cost us anything, though. And he was signed as a backup to Luca D. And I think Luca D was so many levels above him that he was a mere signing. But I think because we don't have to pay any money for him, it's hard to put him in like a bad signing. I mean, he's not horrendous because he didn't cost us anything. We didn't lose much out on him. Just a mere nothing signing, really. It's kind of squad depth. No, this is probably our best signing of the window. Kamara, no, cost us nothing. I think, in my opinion, he's one of the most underrated players in Premier League when he's fully fit. The only issue with Kamara is he's not never. I don't think for Villa he's played a full 38 game season. He's always got an injury, but when he's fully fit in that middle of the park, he's amazing. And for a free transfer, it's right up there when he's fully fit. The only reason why he's not amazing is because, like I said, injury record. I mean, he's played 88 times for the club. Uh, but he's only played more than 25 games once in the season, so yeah, that's why he's not in any better than good. Next up, Bednarek, similar boat to Augustinson. We signed him as a third or fourth choice centre back when Mings got injured in the near the end of the summer window on deadline day. We got Bednarek at all free. Now, we only played 4 games. It was recorded in January, just fine. Well, I do remember him doing an interview saying that he was on loan from Southampton, saying how much bigger a club Villa was than Southampton, which probably got in the fans' good books. But yeah, just a squad player, nothing special. It was just meh, nothing really to him. The next one, the next window was the January of 2023 when Mr. Unai Emery, Spanish Jesus, came in and he took the squad from 17th all the way into a Europa Conference League position, 7th in the league. And all he did was, well, the two players he brought in that foot straight away was John Duran, who was amazing business. I mean, he might not be, he hasn't hit the heights he wanted to after leaving Villa, but I think his attitude and from what I gather, how he kind of treats people is probably what's holding him back from a financial standpoint. Amazing bit of business, bought for 29.5 million, sold him a few years later for 77 million, and I think that's just enough. So there is a good player in there. It's just whether he can sort his head out and start making better decisions. And I was finding that window with Alex Moreno. He's only been there for a year and a half, cost 13.5 million. They paid 53 times for us, and then we sold him when we let it go on a free. 13 million. I think it's a bad signing, yeah. If their Donker was bad, he played more games than Donker, but again couldn't outdo Luka Dean in terms of value for money. And then this was followed by us the next summer of 2023, where we were in Europe for the first time. I think the owners wanted to make a big splash. So we made some big signings. The biggest one being our record transfer at the time, 55 million Musa Diaby, who, although we paid big money for him, was only at Villa for a season, and we signed him for 60 minutes. So from a financial sense, it's a good deal. We got our money back in a year. 10 goals, 11 assists in 54 games, which is it's pretty good goals to assist contribution. The only reason that puts him in the good category. The only reason why he's not an amazing is because he's only at Villa for a year. If he was there longer, he'd be amazing, but we made our money back on a little bit. And he put a good number. So that's a good signing for us. Even if he did cost that money. Next up, Pau Torres. 33 games bought for 33 million on Villarreal. It's an interesting one with him because he's 109 games in 3 years, which is a solid amount. A bit like Conte, just Mr. Consistent. I think he's been a good signing for because you can see when he's on the ball, he is a good footballer. He can play out from the back very well. The only reason why it's not can't be amazing, I don't think we started when we get we get that 33 million back. But you can see he's good footballer. He's been the games he played for Villa, he's been influential, so he's got to be a good signing. Next up, Zaniolo on loan. This is an interesting one. We signed him as a squad player. Now, he only scored 3 goals. And for a winger, you think, oh, that's not very good. But he played 36 times, and he was never signed to start for Villa. He signed to be a squad player, and he played 36. We got 36 games out of him. We have to pay a fee for him. We just got him on loan. A permanent fee anyway. So I think he's just there. He's a squad player. Didn't cause a fuss. Next up, one of our value for money best signings, Yuri Tielemans. Brought him on a free. Villa for 3 years, played 114 games. He's probably our midfielder that controls the tempo and sets the tempo. I think Tielemans has to go with amazing for value for money and how good a footballer he is. You can see when he's on the ball, he is the midfielder that breaks down teams for us from deep lines. It's just been unbelievable free signing from Leicester. Our last signing in that window was a loan for Clement Longley. He was signed as a squad player, played 22 games, didn't really put a foot wrong. It was a bit like Zaniolo, it's just a mess signing. No frills, no spills, but nothing wrong with what he did. Now in January, this is a interesting window. There's a bit more hit or miss. Now Joe Gauchi, we spent we spent 1.5 million, I think, for the punt signing. Didn't really know much about him, and he spent this season at Port Vale. If we sold him now, we wouldn't get. I don't think we would pay a fee for him. So I think financially, he hasn't played for Villa either in a year and a half. So it's a bad signing. Next up, Nedeljkovic. Now the thing is, Nedeljkovic could go on and be a very good player for Villa. He's only 19, 20 at kind of roughly age. He's played 10 times for Villa. Alone at Leipzig. Next season, I would like to see him known to the Championship to see what he can do in English football. He's still got potential, but if we're looking at it right now, 7.6 million for 10 games, even if he is young, financially it's a bad signing. I haven't seen much of him in a Villa shirt. Oh, not horrendous though. Oh, what's happening now? No, not horrendous. It's just about, but he could potentially, value for in 3 years' time, go an amazing. He could be one of the best right backs ever. I don't know much about him. If I had to give him a rating right now, it's bad. That's followed by one of our best signings in the again, an amazing signing, Morgan Rogers from Middlesbrough for 9.4 million, 103 games, 21 goals, 17 assists, and won the season's Europa League Player of the Year. It's just is also in Tuchel's England squad and just offers so much going for it. In terms of progressing the ball from deep on the counter, he is unbelievable dribbler. And that season helped us. That season, yeah, it was a season that helped us get Champions League after Conference League, and then this was followed up by the summer of 2024 in the Champions League. Our big money signing, Mr. Onana. Now, this is an interesting one because he's kind of a defensive midfielder or box to defensive midfielder, but can be box to box if you really ask him to push him a bit out of his comfort zone. And they don't really do in terms of goals and assists. You don't really judge them by. When you see him on the pitch, he is that big physical offering. The only issue is 60 million. He's a good player, but 60 million is a lot of money for Onana. But I look in the Premier League, there's not really many big, athletic, 6'4" midfielders that can move like him. Right now, he will be a bad signing. We haven't got our money's worth. But in 2 or 3 years' time, we could sell him to a, let's say, he keeps getting better and better. In 2 or 3 years' time, we could sell him for 100 million. I could see 100 million, and he would be a good signing. But right now, he's not been bad. Like he's a good. You can see he's a good footballer. Power, pace, athleticism, in that middle of the park. So I've got to put him in there because he's not. He's not Moreno. He's better, much better footballer than Donker. I know he costs 4 times the price, but he has played 77 games in 2 years, and he will be in Villa's future plans. Hopefully, if we can keep him around for as long as we can. Next up, Matson. Now this might be controversial, but so far I think Matson's got to go in bad signings. 44 million, 44.5 million he cost us from Chelsea. We signed him when he was playing in the Champions League final for Borussia Dortmund on loan. And you can see there is a good player there in the future. But he's been at the club 2 years now and he still hasn't uh, got in front of Luka Dean in the pecking order. Now, I would say he's much better going forward than Luka Dean. Um, but Luka Dean is a much more complete left back. I think Matson needs to kind of start taking steps to that next level because he's spent a lot of money on him. He hasn't really had that breakout season yet. So it's bad for now, but in a few years it could be good depending on if he can hit some form. So just fingers crossed it gets better for him. On the next few, we've got some younger players who Villa taking punts on really to kind of low risk signs where you don't pay too much for them. Yeah, young. If they develop, you sell them on for money. If not, you you don't lose too much in the finances. So first one is Junior. We spent 14 million on him. He hasn't played for Villa. He got loaned out to a championship club. He didn't play for them. Then got loaned out to Pisa in the Italian second tier. Now for me he's a horrendous signing. It cost us 14 million. It's not a cheap fee. Like if you're looking at players above, the Campbell was 12. He played a lot for us. Who else is there? Dendonka 15. At least he played for Villa. Ealing Junior hasn't even got in the squad. And he costs not much less than Dendonka. So it was financially so fast and horrendous signing. However, he's still young. He's 21, so there is 2 or 3 years he's got if he can hit form and alone in the championship. But just because right now it's horrendous doesn't mean one day it couldn't be a good signing. It's just right now he hasn't hit the potential that he's been shown to buy us for us to pay 14 million for him. Next up, we have got Bobbin. Now, He hasn't played for Villa. We brought him for 11.8 million when we were trying to not fiddle the book, but manipulate the books. Where we gave Everton Evergreen and we brought Dobbin. Now, for Villa, for 11.8 million, we haven't seen anything from him. However, this season in the Championship, he got man at Preston, he got 11 goals, 8 assists. So, if we sold him now to let's say, Coventry, Hull, any team down there, I'd hope to get that 11.8 million back. But right now, in terms of what he's done for Villa, it's meh. And the only reason why it's meh is because I think if we sold him today, we'd get that 11.8 back for him because he hasn't played for Villa, so he can't be any more than meh. And again, we'll balance the books with that 11.8 million. Next up, Barnechea. I think this is a meh signing. If Lewis Dobbins meh, I think Barnechea has to be meh. He's had half the season on loan at Benfica. He's been a squad player. We bought him for 8 million from Juventus. I think if Barkley's got 1 year left on his contract next season, he might be Barkley's replacement, and you might get to see how good he is. But right now, it's just, nah. Well, actually, will we get the 8 million? I think if we sold him, I don't think we'd get 8 million back for him. So I think it's bad. And the only reason why it's not lower in Mercury Junior because 8 million is a lot less than 14. Now this is Ross Barkley in his second stint at Villa since we paid 6 million from Luton. And we signed him as a squad player. He played 52 games in 2 years. That's 26 games a season. Squad player. He's fine. We could play him against the lower end teams down by the bottom or mid or pushing lower mid table. So your Palaces, Burnleys, early this season. Teams at that kind of level. He's been a fine squad player. Again, that's a perfect role. So I think it just goes in there, and that's the end of those signings. And then we went to January where this is where we got into the Champions League. We played PSG, got knocked out in the quarters. I ended up finishing fifth on the final day. And in January we tried to get some good players, and so Rashford loan. Now, to me, Rashford I think was a good signing. We probably paid a lot on wages, but when he was in playing for Villa, he was in the top 25% of all Premier League winners for shooting efficiency. 17 games, 4 goals, 6 assists. Was a good squad player. But I mean, against PSG, started up front, everybody Watkins, it showed how high regard Emery rated him. I think on loan he was a good signing. And will I take him back at Villa today? Probably. If he wants to come on a free or not much money, yeah, he's a good player. He's a direct winger. He's more of a Leon Bailey than an Emi Buendia winger. Yeah, even though Emery might play him up front. But I think Villa was a good signing at the time. Really showed the intent they were trying to push on for Champions League, even if we did fall short of our goal. This was followed by Donyell Marlin. Um, Now the thing is, if I put Matt Target in good, it's a pretty similar situation. 25 games, he got 10 goals, 2 assists. He was a goal scorer. He's gone to Roma. We've got our money back for him. He was a squad player, so I think 10 goals, it's fine. Good feels more than good. We've got our money. It was just a nothing signing with 10 goals in a year. It's not bad, and we got our money back. So I think just about scrapes into good. He thinks. And the next one, Garcia. We spent 7 million on him. Played 13 games. Now he is 23, and he has his contract extended, or he's still got a contract at Villa. So Emery must rate him to give him a longer term contract. But he's only played 13 games, and on one hand, well, they are keeping him at the club over Nedeljkovic, uh, but Bogo's been starting to right back over him. And if he signed him now, we wouldn't get that 7 million back. So I think he's got to go bad signing. I think. Next up, Ozcam. Don't know much about him. We spent 7 million on him. Right now, would we get our 7 million back? I don't think so. So I think financially it's a bad sign. I can't judge him on how good a footballer he is because I haven't seen him play. I haven't played for Villa. So it's got to be bad for now. Next up, Axel Disasi. Now, we signed him as fourth choice. Similar to Longley, signed a fourth choice, didn't put a foot wrong, was a fine squad player, played 10 games for us in that second half of the season. Just a mere, just a mere signing. Our next one was one of our better loan signings, Asensio. 13 games, 6 goals, 1 assist. Helped us push on into that Champions League against PSG and in the league. We can finish short of our goal. So he has to go down as a good signing. Next up, Mr. Marco Bizot. Oh no, sorry. This is going into summer of 2025, so last summer. Um, we didn't have Champions League, so we were under a little bit of financial pressure. So a lot of our signings were cheap, except one. We just spent big money. I say big money, a lot of money on one player. First sign of Bizot. For me so far, he has to go now. I would like to put him higher because I can see he is a good goalkeeper. I think he'll start for some lower end Premier League teams. Cost us £500,000. He's played 14 times this season. But right now, I can't put him in good because I haven't seen enough of him. But I think it's a promising sign, even if he's in terms of what he can offer Villa in the short term. If Emi does leave, he's a good option. Next up, Mr. Victor Lindelof. Now, for me, I've got to put him in good. We signed him as a fourth choice centre back, but by the end of the season, he was in front of Mings in the pecking order. And he did start in the Europa League final in holding midfield with Tielemans. So he kind of surprised me how good he was. I think he's just been cost us nothing. A good, very good squad player. Played in some big games. Quietly good. I think he's got to be a good sign. No, then Jadon Sancho, this one. Emery rates him. The only reason why he's not horrendous, I think cost us anything was in 39 games. Didn't score a goal for us. 2 assists. Yeah, just not good enough. Big money signing so far. Oh, where is he? Oh yeah, they've got Gasson Elliott. Oh no, we've got. Oh no, this one, Mr. Harvey Elliott. Now, I think it's not. Yeah, I think it has to go in horrendous because not only was he didn't play, it got bad publicity for Villa. The fact that we basically wasted a year of his career. And to be fair to Harvey Elliott, this reflects no reflection on how good a player he is. The issue was if we played him in more than I think it was 10 Premier League games, we would have to buy 40 million. Now we didn't value him at 40 million, so we didn't want to play him in 10 games. So he was just never plays. And you did get one. You get 1 assist in his 9 appearances, but for Villa, it was a horrendous sign. We had to pay his wages. There were some news articles I read about how bad the situation is. We tried to cancel the loan in January, but Liverpool would want us to pay the fees, so we didn't want to do that, so we just kept it down. This is no reflection on Harvey as a person, because Unai Emery said in interviews that he trains very well. But yeah, it's just horrendous signing, unfortunately. Now, next up, Evan Gassant. Now, speaking of horrendous signings, he would be horrendous. However, the only exception, this would be if I had this an unknown category, I'd put him in unknown or we don't know yet. Because he's still in at Villa, he played almost 30 minutes, which is a decent fee. Played 21 times for his 2 goals, 1 assist, which is not good numbers. But when he went on to first class, he did look better, so I think he might just taken a little while to acclimatise to the league. He has won the Europa League and the Conference League this season, so he's got 2 European medals. But so far, it's a bit of bad sign, and if it doesn't get better, if he doesn't start kicking off Villa, it will be horrendous. But for now, it's only bad. And in January, we made 3 additions. No, Douglas Luiz. No, I've already got Douglas Luiz on as the major signing. I think his second spell, controversial, I think is bad. Um, we signed him during injury crisis, so he did have to play games. He played 20 times for us. The issue is, though, by the end of his loan spell, he was getting not dropped, but Lindelof overtook him in the holding midfield role. Which Douglas Luiz, we signed him for 50 million, like coming on loan for 50. You still had 50 million, 6 months later, you're back on loan at Villa, at the club you left. Not a good signing for them, and he didn't really wow anyone to the point where Harry was starting Lindelof over him in the Champions League, in the Europa League final. Says it all, really, I think. Next to Alisson, so far, it's been a bad signing. However, I will preface this again, like Gasol, he's not been at the club long, so we don't know much about him. We bought him for 10 million from Brazil. It's again one of the youth signings, low risk. Played 3 games and then he got injured, so didn't play again. So I'm hoping next season he could kick on. Eventually, he could be an amazing signing because he'd be the best Brazilian winger in the world. But right now, 10 million, we haven't got anything out of him, so he has to go. Um, Same boat for Tammy, really. Although we did find Tammy as a backup striker, and I'm happy he's a good player. One thing you can say about Tammy is wherever he's gone, I think apart from Roma or one of the Italian clubs, he has scored goals. But right now, 10 to 15 goals is probably what we want from a season, and in the 6 months he's been there, he's not really had that. So yeah, I think he's got to go in bad for now. I think that I'm just gonna look back through the any players I want to move around. I'm happy with that top group, some all good signings, good section. Yeah, I think so. Nah. Anyone I'm thinking about? Uh, Robin, I might. Don't, I think we get our money back. I think there will be some. So yeah, I think we're leaving there. I do want to move Biz up higher, but it's I, I can't. It cost us half a million. Lindelof's up there. He's played less games, and Lindelof played 28 games. He's only played about 14, so I think he has to go in there. Can we into any of these that want to move up or down? I don't think so. I think that's our list altogether. We look at it as an overall, a lot of our signings have been bad actually. But then you've got people like Allison, Tammy that we don't know could move higher, Nedeljkovic, Jos can. So that so it could be more mad. But if you look at overall, the best signings, the players who was either still at the club or we sold for a lot of money, Douglas Luiz, Esri Conser, Ollie Watkins, Danny Martins, John Duran, Yuri Tielemans and Rogers. And then the really bad ones, Wesley, who most famous, I think, in Villa folklore for headbutting a player in training, in a training match on a pre-season friend against Stoke. Danny Drinkwater for, let me just check my notes. Danny Drinkwater, he headbutted Jota in training. Pereira, we paid big money for, didn't work out. Sanderson, big money, didn't work out. Ings the same, Coutinho the same, Carlos the same. Eddie Jr., not big money, but he hasn't played. He's not looking like his career's going where he wants to be loan after his second year of Italy. On top of that, probably one of the worst deals in Premier League history in terms of loan deals. I think that'll conclude the video. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you can like and subscribe, and I'll see you all next time.